Leon's a very technical fighter, but when you make it a real hard fight, he tends to break, and I could see he was breaking. I knew he broke once he shot on me because that's the last place he would want to be is on the ground with me. So once I knew he wanted to grapple with me, I knew it was going to be over soon. If you look at Bilal's record, he has an amazing record. He has me on there. He has a lot of good guys on there. So for people to shit on me for losing to him, it is what it is. But yeah, that loss was the best thing that ever happened to me. Clearly, I'm on a nice little run here. And who's the last person to finish Leon? Me. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
You mentioned Leon last time he was finished. He's never been finished before. So you've become the first person, pro and amateur, to finish Leon Edwards. Do you feel that gives you a springboard over Shavkat Rakhmonov for the next title shot after Jack Della Maddalena? I
mean, I don't make those calls. The UFC does. But I think if you look at the people I've been beating versus Shavkat, I think I have a pretty good Gilbert Burns and Leon Edwards, my last two versus his last two. I think his were Wonder Boy and Ian Gary. So, I mean, I got a nice little record going. But I just want to keep adding names to my resume. And, yeah, we'll see what happens.
For me, there's a trend, mostly last year, but of fighters weighing in as backups to kind of solidify their title shot. Would you be interested in doing that for the Montreal card, just in case, weighing as backup to solidify your shot if you need to?
Well, what's the date of that again?
May?
Could be a possibility. I don't think it's too far of a flight from Philly. We'll see.
And Bilal tweeted, Sean copied my homework. Was that a plan going into this fight to put on pressure on Leon? Because we have noticed when you give him space, he'll throw the leg kicks and you come into his game.
Yeah.
Was that a plan of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I did a lot better than Bilal did. I think Bilal lost a couple of rounds. He had his back taken for an entire round. I think it was, 3-2 when they fought. I dominated Leon every round. No one's ever did it like me. And then I submitted him and made him quit in front of his hometown. You weren't going to... If we were in Philly, you ain't making me quit in front of my hometown. I'll tell you that. I'm going to sleep, son. So just remember that.
Would you say you almost root for Bilal in that title fight with Jack? And would you say revenge is fueling you?
Yeah, 100%. I've been rooting for Bilal since he beat me, of course. The better he does, the better it makes my loss look to him, you know. He went out, he beat Leon, and now he's fighting Jack, which Jack's a super tough fight. I was getting ready for Jack for our fight before when I had to pull out, and I know how good Jack is, and Jack can knock anybody out in the world, but you can't bet against Bilal. He finds ways to win, and I think he's going to win that one. And of course, I want him to be champion when we fight again. But if for some reason he does lose, I would fight him for a #1 contender. So yeah, there's options out there.
If you already think about it, what you should do differently in a potential rematch with Bilal, like technically? Have you already thought about that?
Just go fight my fight. I didn't fight my fight. I didn't believe in myself the way I believe in myself now. And yeah, I'm just going to go out there and believe in myself the way I did tonight and my other fights before that. And I'll be a UFC champion.
Have you a prediction for this future fight?
Bilal by decision.
So towards the end, there was a bit of a strange moment where he just kind of, you're both standing in front of each other's face and he's kind of screaming in your direction.
It goes to the judges' scores.
I just want to know what was kind of going through your mind in that moment.
Was this at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you're going to war with someone and you don't get the knockout, then there's a bit of frustration there, so you're kind of yelling in each other's face, but there's a bit of respect in that too. So it's like just a war cry between the both of us, and we knew that we just had to respect each other. I mean, he's a former champion, and I had to pay my dues to him. So, it was a bit of excitement at the same time.
3 rounds with a karate veteran who, like you said, makes you have to sort of make adjustments in there. Is these the fights that you learn the most from?
For sure, yeah. 3 rounds with a veteran like him, or even just a former champion like him is definitely a win.
And as you said, former champion, great name on your resume. What would you like to do with that name? What would you like to do next?
Well, definitely, I mean, 8-fight win streak, the longest win streak in the light heavyweight division. I'm definitely looking at a light heavyweight title contention.
Congratulations.
Carlos, just over here. Jiri Prochazka mentioned he was interested in the winner of your fight next if you weren't going to get a title shot. Would that fight interest you, and how do you feel you'd match up with him?
Yeah, for sure. I'll get anyone, but I mean, where is he placed at the moment? I'm looking to go forward for sure, and I'm definitely looking at a title shot in the near future.
Jamal Hill thought Carlos Ulberg versus Jan Blachowicz was a boring fight. He doesn't think that Jan was robbed. He thinks that the reviewers were.
Hi. Hello. PFL star Dakota Dicheva was in the crowd tonight, and I think some fans were getting quite excited about that.
Sorry, which athlete?
Dakota Dicheva. She was in the crowd. People were getting excited about potentially linking up with the UFC. Is that premature? Is she just here as an observer, or is that something we can get excited about?
I wish I had more info for you. I really don't know far. But, you know, we've been thinking about Bahrain, we've been thinking about Qatar, we've been thinking about Jordan, we've been thinking about a few different countries. There's an order of operations to it. So when it comes to North Africa specifically, you know, nothing to disclose at the moment, but, you know, I think continental Africa for us is really compelling. And we've been talking for a while about whether it's South Africa or Rwanda, or do we go to, you know, French-speaking country. So there's a few different options. You know, there's a lot at play. There's a lot of logistics at play. We've got to have the right athletes. So, you know, nothing to report right now, but that's the way that we're thinking about it.
The May 17th fight night card adds a couple fights. Luana Pinheiro versus Tisha Pennington and Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Dustin Stoolsfist. This takes place at the UFC Apex. Terrence McKinney was cheering for Chris Duncan. He's a good man. Donated to my brother's funeral, even though we want to compete. Duncan got the win and then called McKinney out.
Well, you know who I want next. I want Terrence McKinney in Miami. So, Terrence, get your gloves on. You're getting sparked, mate.
She fought the way I thought she would fight me.
You know, the whole fight, you were super technical. Your footwork, super sound. Were there moments where you were going for the finish, or moments where there was a lot of clinching and a lot of sort of, it felt like you had control no matter where the distance was?
As Chris Young gets it back on track. What's your main event prediction?
I think if I speak, I'm in trouble.
Muscle stash, baby.